These are a few beauty products that I own, and if you look closely, most of them have to do with my complexion. This isn't because I'm obsessed with foundations and concealers, but mainly because I could never find my perfect shade in India. If you ever try buying makeup in India, you would notice that it's way easier for fair skinned people to find a match. It's not that the beauty industry doesn't make products for all skin types, but probably because they simply don't want to acknowledge the beauty of dark skin. Hi, I'm Rachna, and today I'll be talking about some preconceived notions about beauty and skin color in India and how Bollywood has affected and influenced them. I was driven to pick this topic as I have myself faced colorism when I was young, and it definitely changed the way that I looked at myself. I was bullied and picked on during my school days and called names like
Kali, black and white TV, Blackie, Kala Pani, Blackie,
Kali, and Koila, and it was definitely a pathetic time. In India, dark skin is always associated with inferiority, and with this essay, I would like to highlight how media influences this discourse of inclusivity and diversity. Ancient India never discriminated against skin colors, but the presence and acceptance of beauty, valor, and status based on fair skin was established after being invaded by the Aryans and Britishers. The naturally dark skinned Indians were often seen as inferiors, and a complex rose from the Eurocentric ideals of beauty. This complex has very well been noticed and catered to by the Indian cinema on many levels. Over the last 2 decades, Bollywood has produced film narratives upholding the beauty ideal both as a cinematic necessity and also as a plot point. One such example is Sanjay Leela Bhansali's historical feature film Bajirao Mastani. Spread between elaborate set design, accurate costume references, and bone-chilling lighting effects, this film was a true milestone in Indian cinema. But the only mild scratch in the film was the female lead Deepika Padukone. Originally a dark-skinned actress, Deepika is known for her intense skin whitening treatments even though she has openly denied it to the media. The casting in films plays a huge role in these situations. Often, a fair-skinned hero is shown fighting a brown-skinned villain, hence setting a standard for the common population.
It's all about how media portrays the skin color of a heroine or hero. They try to make them look really fair, and we as a youth want to look like that because we consider that, okay, this is shown as attractive, so we consider that as a standard and go by that.
The Indian society has seen certain regional stereotypes which have very effectively been motivated by Bollywood. Two States, a romantic comedy directed by Abhishek Varman and based on the best-selling novel by Chetan Bhagat, explains this better. It highlights the stereotype of dark-skinned South Indians and regards it as unpleasant.
लेकिन माफ करना 90% तमिलियंस काले बड़े होते हैं.
Ever since the dawn of fairness creams in 1919 in India, cosmetic brands have often targeted this anxiety of fair skin and being a part of the elite group. The biggest example of this blunder is the brand Fair & Lovely, established in 1975 by Unilever. Consequently, lighter skin is depicted as a parameter of exquisiteness by the media.
You've become really beautiful. Your face is fairer, glowing. It must be marriage.
Don't you believe that? For 2 months, I've been using Fair and Lovely.
Given the widespread market for fairness products and the concerns of hierarchy in the society, the Advertising Standards Council of India felt a need to frame specific guidelines for this product category in 2014, which regards racism and colorism as discrimination. However, Fair & Lovely only changed its name to Glow & Lovely in 2020 to celebrate inclusivity. Following the course in cinematic representations of beauty, we notice that post-millennial films suggest a rather maturing trend in representing colorism, where instead of the glorified fair heroine, we encounter protagonists who refuse to agonize under usual beauty labor. A brown-skinned woman herself, director Zoya Akhtar often tries to embody this trend very subtly through her narratives, both on-screen and off-screen. In 2009, a campaign called Dark is Beautiful was launched that aimed at supporting inclusivity, beauty beyond color. Supported by the brown-skinned actress Nandita Das, it aimed at educating people that skin color wasn't the real beauty but what came from within was. On similar lines, Vogue India did an issue in 2010 that celebrated dark-skinned beauty. So perhaps it is safe to say in some circles the emphasis of light skin as beauty is fading. Being the most influential form of media, films have easily affected the people, be it through celebrity endorsements, film messaging, or as advertisements. There is a wide gap between the outdated messaging that Bollywood propagates regarding beauty and the mindset of the youth in the country.
Every time I go home, there'll be one aunt who'll come and tell me, "Oh my god, you've gotten so dark." No, auntie, I wanted to get even darker to match your mentality and the color of your soul.
As Nirupama Singh, an expert on the sociology of fashion, quotes, skin color matters a lot for women in India. Fairness is a very valuable thing here, looked on as desirable. The fashion world can be a big agent for change in this area. The real challenge is to shift the focus from misleading narratives to a more relevant form of storytelling that does not offend the cultural belief system of India but also appreciates the sensitivity of this issue. Beauty standards have evolved enormously in the last 20 years, and there is still scope for Indian cinema to nurture, adapt, and implement these ideas as new norms. This discourse is way beyond the terms fair and dark. It is more about the inclusivity of body image and the purge of aesthetic capital made from glorifying appearances. It must now be about appreciation and acceptance.